Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and our putting back together of our Vespa PX Carb. I haven't bothered filming an intro for this bit because it's pretty much a direct reverse of what we did when we took it apart, just with some new bits. So we might as well just get stuck straight in. So the body's been through the parts washer, cleaned off. It's in good nick, really. I'm quite happy, as we saw. So it just needs some new parts. So I looked online for some genuine parts, which are really quite expensive now. I was quite taken aback of how much all the extra bits are going to cost. So I went for an aftermarket set. Now, I have used aftermarket sets previously and frankly been rather disappointed. But I thought I'd give it a go, see if things have changed. And luckily, things do seem to have changed. Now this set, looking at the markings on it, appears to be INC, which I believe is an Indian manufacturer. I'm not sure how close their connection to Delorto is, I've no idea. I suspect they're just an aftermarket one. But looking through the kit, through the bag, it doesn't look that bad. Things like the anodizing on that, on the cheap ones, it's really rough. The zinc plating is really rough and unfinished, whereas that's nice and smooth. I'll bring you in closer to show the jet stack in a minute. So you get your jet stack, 3 pieces, your other 2 jets, a couple of gaskets, idle screw, which again is nicely plated, red tipped float needle, main bowl gasket, Chinese hat gasket. I think they're the inlet gaskets for the fuel, but I'll check that, I'm not sure. So there we go. So before we start building it all up, let me bring you in closer so you can see this jet stack. Because when we took the carb apart, we couldn't make out any numbers, as we can now. So let's see what we've got, shall we? Right, so our main jet at the bottom, I was expecting to find 116, and it's 118. You'll never see the writing on these, so you just have to take my word for it. And then our mixer tube is a BE3, which again I was expecting, and in our top section it's marked 160. So although the packet's marked PX200, I think that's a non-auto lube P200. But hey, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain that's what it is, but that's fine. And then our other 2 jets are marked up as, well, I'll bring them in, shall I? See what these are marked up as. My eyesight's rather poor. Right, had to take them to the door to the light because my eyesight is so bad. That's marked up 55-160, which would be our idle. Which again, I think the PX200 Autolube's 50-160, to be honest. And then this one's marked up 60, which is right. So yeah, I'm pretty certain it's the early non-auto lube 200 engine, which would make it like the Rally, I suppose. So as a starting point for our 166 kit, it's going to be too rich, I'm sure, but better to start off that way than go the other. So the whole kit was 17 quid, I think. It is nice. The again, on some of the cheaper kits I've had previously, things like these holes weren't very well drilled and, you know, generally quite naff. But this looks really well finished. I mean, obviously I haven't checked that they physically match all the right sizes, but they look right, they feel right, so the chances are they are right. And anyway, it's too late now, that's what I've got. Our little float needle, as I mentioned, is red tip. Now, I'm assuming that's not just a bit of bodgery and pretending it's usable for modern fuels, but it should be. So there we go. So we might as well start putting this together in our usual haphazard manner. Right, let's start with the important stuff. So we have a jet stack, goes in there. And then next to that we have our little air corrector jet. And our third jet into the bowl. Right, we need our little gasket. And then our float needle drops in there. And our pin should push through there. Come on. There we go. There we go. Right. Now we need to move on to fit it. And might as well put our choke mechanism in next. Single screw. So, make sure it's free moving, which it is, good. That drops in there like that. And then we need two screws, short one and a long one, which I always get mixed up which is which, but I think that's right. We'll soon find out. Right. And then our fuel filter top hat with rubber seal. And then our fuel inlet, which is a seal, the inlet, and then the bolt with another, well, not seals, they're fibre washers, I should say, not seals. And then that just needs to be loosely tightened for the minute because it will get swiveled about when it's fitted. Right, that just leaves our slide and our idle speed screw. So I foolishly forgot to order the correct non-auto lube pull. So I'll just show it going back together with this, and then we can worry about that later on, can't we? So a little rubber seal pops in there, and then that ball goes through there, in theory, but it doesn't want to. Come on. There we go, tight. And then we have our slide, of course, and our spring. So our little ball has got to go down in there, and it gets trapped by the spring, in theory. We send hooks in there, and it all goes together like so. And then you have to attach your two little screws against the spring pressure. Now, as I say, I know that's wrong. I will change that later, but for the purposes of this video, it is exactly the same. As the non-auto loop one, as far as fitment goes. Good. Mix your screw. It doesn't want to go in. Because it is a different size. Right. Problem number one. Okay. Not a problem necessarily, we shall use the old one. Half, 1, 1.5, 2. That'll do for starters. And then the final thing is our throttle adjusting, throttle stop, I suppose you'd call it, wouldn't you? Which again just bears down on the needle, on the slide, cutout on the slide. Right. So there we are. Just a quick video putting it back together. It's a lot cleaner. As I say, jetting things has to be messed about with later, but at least we've got a starting point. And total cost 17 quid. So worth doing. Although having said that, if I'd replaced it with genuine Delauto parts, that would have been considerably more. You can get complete Spacco carbs for, I don't know, £40, £45, something like that. Check on eBay or your local scooter shop, whatever you choose. So yeah, they are relatively inexpensive, although I'd say this is genuine Delauto, and therefore, in my humble opinion, better than the Indian copies. There may be people who disagree, that's just my thoughts. Anyway, there we go. Carbs rebuilt, ready to go on the engine. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. There's going to be lots of different stuff coming out soon. If you like tinkering videos on all sorts of mechanical stuff, please call back. And I hope to see you soon.